Welcome back to another Movies Dandy. Today's movie is Project Hail Mary.
I'm gonna call you Rocky. We're here for the same reason. His son is dying too. If we're gonna save our planets, we have to learn how to communicate.
Project Hail Mary stars Ryan Gosling. So after waking up in a spaceship and losing all his memory, it's all up to him to save Earth. And that's pretty much where the movie begins. But before we begin, this movie review is brought to you by Taste Salud. I still can't get over how good the piña colada is. The horchata is still my favorite, but this one is top 2 for sure. If you want to put your order for piña colada or other delicious flavors, make sure you use my code ANDY10, which is on the screen right now. And you can get 10% off your whole order. Thank you so much, Taste Salud. Now back to the review. Let me start off with things that I liked from this film. First off, the visuals were so beautiful in this movie. They did such an amazing job of just making space look beautiful. From just different planets and some stars, just the solar system looked amazing. And not just that, but his alien friend that he meets along the way, Rocky, looks really good as well. There isn't too much to him because he's just this small little rock figure, but he looks really good. So shout out to the special effects artist because it looks amazing. And of course, Ryan Gosling's performance in this movie is so good. He's just such a likable character, from being charismatic and funny. Oh, and also he is very smart, and they do a very good job at hiding it at the beginning of the movie, but it just starts progressing more and more throughout the film. And of course, going off of Ryan Gosling's amazing performance, the comedy in this movie is really good. It's just mostly Ryan Gosling by himself for most of the film, with his friend Rocky, of course. But his comedic timing is just so good, and some of the jokes in there are really funny, which I was in a crowded theater and it made a lot of people laugh, which is always a great sign. Also, my before theater reaction, I did say I was very excited to see Ryan Gosling and the Rocky characters' chemistry throughout the movie. And let me just say that it did not disappoint. And it was very cool because it was two different creatures that didn't understand each other at all, but became the bestest of friends. And of course, that just all has to do with Ryan Gosling's performance. But their chemistry throughout this movie was a big highlight of this film. And also, who was cutting onions throughout this movie? Because there was actually good amount of emotional scenes throughout this movie. And there were some that even made me get that little knot in my throat. And I had to make sure I took a little sip of my drink so it didn't dry out my throat. But yes, the emotional scenes were very good. And I know I talked about the visuals and all the special effects throughout the movie looking really good, but the cinematography also looked amazing in this film. I just didn't think that they could do very much with such a small little area and a spaceship, but the cinematographer figured out a way to make it look very cinematic and beautiful. There was just so many beautiful shots in this film, and also the colors were just popping that made this movie just outstanding. And I haven't read the book, but although this movie story was very simple, it was very effective. And that was some things that I didn't really like. And like I said, although this story was very simple, I do feel like it dragged on just a little bit. I don't know if they were just trying to give us more backstory between Rocky and Ryan Gosling's character, but I just feel like it just dragged on just a little bit too much. And with that, the movie did feel very long. So I just feel like there may have been a couple of parts that could have been shortened up to make the length of the movie shorter as well. And also with the story, I do feel like some of the things were kind of predictable. But although the story was a little bit predictable, it is cool to see how the story went from here to here. And like I said, I haven't read the book or what happens in the book, but I do feel like this movie had a couple different endings. Like, you just felt like it was ending and it was over, but then something else happened, and then you feel like it was ending and then something else happened, which, like I said, it just did feel like the ending just dragged on a little bit too long. So now, would I watch Project Hail Mary in the theaters again? Yes, I completely would. The visuals and Ryan Gosling's performance were amazing in this film. I just feel like this movie was one of the biggest reasons you go to the movie theaters. It's kind of just one of those movies where you turn off your brain and just to be entertained the whole time. Which I know for a fact that all of us go to the movie theaters to be entertained. And although I did get a bit of an Interstellar vibe, it was a different movie and it just was more fun than that movie. I just feel like Interstellar was way more scientific and more serious, while Project Hail Mary was way more fun and a great time in the movies. But I do love Interstellar as well, don't get it twisted. So now, are you watching Project Hail Mary in the theaters this weekend? And if you are, I would love to hear what you thought about this film. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie reviews every week.